Hi, and welcome back. My name is Janet Rose, and I go by Sharp Say Bella pretty much everywhere online. You may have encountered me that way. And this is what you're about to watch is the TikTok live that I did a week ago today. What that would be August 13th. And it was just the weirdest set of circumstances. I can't go into everything, but some of the highlights were on the eclipse. I was going to do a special version of the messages of divine love. It got taken over by the divine masculine. Like, this is a specific message you have to give to the divine masculine. And I was just like, that is not normal for me. And then as I went and did the messages of divine love the next day, the day after the eclipse, and that came out just fine, exactly the way I thought it would. Literally a minute later at 4:04, I'm told I need to get online. Like, I'm shown kind of the interface for TikTok. And I need to use this deck and I need to pull cards immediately. Immediately. There's a message that has to come through to the divine masculine, especially this masculine collective that has been healing old wounds. Y'all are doing the work. So, like, I know that because so many of you are in my life and I know your goodness. I really do. And I see the struggle. And so many of you come to me to ask for feedback about that struggle. Some of you have been coaching clients. Some of you have been watching the messages of divine love for years. So I am honored to have you here and to be a voice that you trust enough with the woo stuff to bridge that gap. So it seems a little more believable and a little bit more applicable to an emotional truth that perhaps is not articulated as easily in the society that we have right now. So, with that empathy and with that love, I offer this reading. But I want you to understand that there were signs and signals for before I get online, 4:14, and downloading this message, 4:44. So many of the cards that came out have significance to me, to situations that I am privy to through clients and loved ones. And so I know that certain imagery and certain, statements are not meant to harm. They're meant to kind of push you back into yourself, into your own authenticity, because that's all I want for people ever. And immediately after this, I was just completely blown away. And I went and I did a video about that broken shield metaphor, which people have already told me has been helpful for them. And then a rainbow appeared and I made a video about that. And then other really magical and intimately connective things happened for me. So I feel very strongly that I'm supposed to be here doing this. And so the Reiki blessing that I give and that I use is just for today. I let go of anger that controls my time. I am kind to myself and others. I let go of worry that betrays my trust. I am grateful to be living right here, right now, doing exactly this. I show up to do my divine work. I honor everyone I meet as a divine vessel, including myself. And I remain open to every experience and all knowledge that is delivered into my hands. And I trust that I have the discernment to know the difference between truth and fiction. That last one is this reading. Please hear the truth in my voice. Please hear the magic that exists within my calling. And please trust whatever resonates for you. and sit with it. It will be okay. I hope you enjoy. All right. So remember, if you have been watching any of my social media over the last couple of days, maybe the last week or so, I have been talking about doing more collective readings for the Divine Masculine, and specifically to help kind of light the way a little bit for how to navigate the current collapse without collapsing. That is something that I do for everybody. That is something that is part of what I already do. But I am just going to be going live for just a few minutes here because there was a message that needed to come through for the Divine Masculine through me that did not want to wait. It demanded that I get on here. And when I say the Divine Masculine, there's a couple of different, well, I shouldn't say a couple, a lot of my guides, my most influential guides and the most helpful ones at the moment are men who have been devoted to me in some way. So like my dad, my grandpa, a certain padrino who I care about deeply, who is now on the other side. I have feminine warriors in my bloodline. So the people who show up for me on the other side are often masculine, the people that I end up being able to reach in ways that unlock sort of the underworld of someone's heart so that they can finally start dealing with all of the cords of trauma that are there. That is what I do, and that is what I specialize in. And so I just felt very called at this moment to show up and pull some cards because there's some intense energy that's going on. And I described it earlier this week, and I'm going to share it with you now because this image, while it came through in a distance reading that I was doing, it applies to so many of the masculine folks out there. I got this image of a hurricane, of a whirlpool, of both actually, and sort of one right on top of the other. And thank you for the likes. This image came through, but it came through as something that is happening to the masculine as a whole, being in the middle of this hurricane, and everything's just spinning around, and you can see the calm that is in the center. Calm, relative calm, because it's surrounded by danger. But there's debris coming at you. And so for all of the people who are waiting on a masculine type to hear them, they can't, over the sound of all of the swoosh that's going around them. Every time they look back to try to find you and reach for you, they get smacked in the head with another piece of debris that they didn't choose. This is the energy that so many of the good masculine, the healing masculine, those who are reaching toward their divinity and who have found it in small chords and channels, this is what they're dealing with right now. And they can't hear us. They can't hear us over the cacophony of all of the decay that is happening around them, the storm that has gathered strength, and now they are caught in the middle of it. Consequences that they didn't choose, some that they did. But every time they try to reach back, and then they get turned over, and then they get turned around, and then they get disoriented. And so then it takes them a bit to get reoriented again. Some of this has to do with the fact that so many of the masculine have shut down their reliance on actual intuition, on this intuition, this intuition, this intuition. A lot of them act with this intuition, with their voice first, rather than information that comes from putting the pieces together in other ways. Remember, when I talk about the masculine or the feminine, I'm just talking about two different poles of the same sphere. We are the same sphere of humanity. Some of us are built to live at these poles, but not all of us will or want to or have to. Most of us live in this nice temperate zone and kind of go in between all the time. And so for me, when I talk about masculine and feminine, I'm talking about polarities of humanity's potential, of humanity's beginnings, but that's not the entirety of who we are. We all inhabit our own particular space in how those energies play out in us. My leadership self is very masculine driven. I have been told I have big dick energy. So that is how I can show up sometimes in nonprofit spaces or in, legislative spaces. That's my background. But then I also have the mystic part of me that is receiving all of these messages and said, you have to come on live now and do this reading. So let me get to the reading. I'm going to call you guys, even though not all of you are guys. Some of you are divine butches, and I love you for it. Oh, I love you for it. They're yummy. Yeah, I'm also bisexual and queer as fuck and happy about it. And so my readings tend to gravitate in that direction too. So remember, I may say the masculine, but it is not just that, because this is just like, ooh, yeah, these don't want to go back. So there's already 3 that have come out. And 2 that have come out. So I'm just going to leave it at that right now. And if I need to cut the deck to pull more cards, actually, I'm going to cut the deck already because I can feel it wanting to separate. Oh, wow. I wanted to separate in the weirdest places. And then one more card got left behind. Okay, so I just take that as signs because I don't do these collective readings very often, and I certainly don't get called to do it, but I've been called to do it way more often. My original calling, when I was 12, I saw the Hands of Mary on Apparition Hill in Medjugorje, and I was called to be the Hands of Love. And so when I do tarot, it is trying to channel that love, that unconditional love through me. And so sometimes unconditional love also means accountability is an act of love. So I'm just going to pull the first 3 cards that came out and that popped out. Oh my God, these ones keep coming up. So I've been using this deck, the Final Rose deck, and it is loosely based around The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. If you're familiar with that show, I really am not. I'm polyamorous, so I kind of don't feel like I always have to choose just one, and I haven't for over 20 years. So also, oh yay! Someone went to Medjugorje when you were 11. Oh my God. So let's talk offline because we're friends. So let's talk offline about that because I would love to hear about your experience, and maybe I will share a whole lot more about mine. So the first card that came out here for the masculine is the producer plant. And so it has a little bomb on it. So this is one of those special cards that come in decks like this that are built around a theme that have maybe no normal tarot association, and so they can be really fun. Oh my gosh, so I'm so happy I could provide you with a little touchstone to Medjugorje. I have so many stories for you about how that has been woven into why I'm here right now, why I'm doing this right now instead of like doing dishes and plotting, you know, my world takeover. Maybe this is how I do the world takeover, but this is the producer plant. And for the masculine, I'm just going to tell you, because this came up in a reading earlier this week, there is someone who has been feeding you bad information, who has been feeding you information that keeps you activated, that keeps you like on, you know, on a hair trigger. And it's like, it's on purpose. They're doing it in order to stir up the drama inside of you. For a few of you, it is to light a fire under you. Like that might be the only way to motivate you, is to get prickly and coercive about it, which I'm not very cool with. I will say that there has also been an undercurrent for those of you who work on the grid with me and who understand these other forces that are at work. There are people, at least in my mythology, how I am seeing it, who are aware of our gifts and our talents and our presence. Ours. A lot of us who are viewing this right now. They see us. They see us working. They don't know 100% what they're doing. And thank you for the heart. Thank you, Teddy Bones, for the heart. I appreciate that. They see what we're doing. And they are becoming part of our circles in order to monitor, in order to keep us aware. Not aware. To keep us invested in the current drama, to keep us small. And so one of the reasons why I am doing these readings for the divine masculine, for the healing masculine, for those who are like truly trying to put in the work, you need to know what is happening on this undercurrent. And I think those of you who are in that masculine realm, who follow me, you trust me to a certain extent. So when I tell you there is a producer plant in your life who is feeding you information, who is feeding you activation to keep you small, and like small is not the right word, to keep you locked up. Part of that is using you and your relationship to people like me to keep us stuck in the smallness of, does this boy like me? So I need you all to stop trusting that information. Start trusting the information that is coming from here, which is what kind of the next card is saying, which is the Judgment card. And the Judgment card here is the rose ceremony, but it's reversed. So this is what it looks like when it's upright. The rose ceremony, right? That's making your choice. And so how much of your choices are being influenced by someone who wants to watch the drama, who wants to watch you spin out? Because when you spin out, you need them. When you spin out, when you shut down, they can then feed you what the next line is. And it takes away and it cuts away at your autonomy and your choice. And this producer plant is not necessarily like a meddling feminine, although not off the table. In particular, I am seeing like a very cool, like very kind of progressive sort of guy who says something like, just makes a snide remark about witches, for example, about someone like me. And about how manipulative we are, you know, whatever. Like they just plant a seed of doubt into your mind so that it influences the choice that you make, so that the dramatic choice that keeps you listening to them and reinforcing that loop instead of expanding your horizons to the things that you really wanted here. Here's the fun part. And see, remember these three cards came out together. So there is an awareness that you listened to this. There was a bomb that went off and it would just kind of exploded in your face and exploded in your life. And it just made, it was bad. Okay. It was just bad. You made a bad choice. You made a bad judgment call. You did the thing that kept you safe. Let me get on here for a different day for those kinds of readings, because this was like I had to pull this for the masculine. So I'm going through these cards for the masculine right now. There is an apology that is coming. The Five of Flutes, the Five of Cups says, sorry, I'm the worst, a cake. And it says, I fucked up. Okay, so someone realizes the mistake that they made, that they relied on bad information. They relied on information that was meant to stir them up, that was meant to keep them activated in that, like, either a trauma space or like just a reactive space. They grabbed the wrong thing. They reached for the wrong choice, and I feel like it was the wrong communication choice. Oh, good. I'm glad this is resonating with you. The Five of Flutes is coming in with an apology. I am going to tell you it is not an elegant apology. And I'm going to advise you right now, because the world is falling apart. Do not expect perfection out of people. Do not expect the perfect apology. You are not going to get an engraved note in blood that tells you exactly all the things that they did wrong, point 1 through 12. Okay? Sometimes you just got to settle for the, I fucked up. I don't know what happened. I don't know why I trusted that information, that person, that situation. But it led me to the wrong choice, and it was a massive wrong choice. There are other cards that say you made the wrong choice. The Judgment card comes out nice and special for when you make a life-altering bad choice because you chose to be small. You chose not to trust what was in here, Mr. Masculine. Okay? And someone is owed an apology, and it ain't you. Okay, I love you, but it ain't you. You're going to be delivering this apology, and it's going to be a misshapen cake, okay? Just be okay with the imperfection. And those who are on the receiving end of this apology, be okay with the imperfection, okay? Presence matters way more than perfection right now. In this world that is falling apart, we are not expecting each other to be perfect, okay? We are all kind of at our worst. And in the situation that I'm thinking about that has come through, and where that original like hurricane in the throat chakra can't hear you because every time I try to reach for you, I get hit with more debris and then I get disoriented. Right now, one of the visions I want you to have, we are not doing open readings right now. I've been like channeling something for the masculine right now. The hurricane in the throat chakra, they can't hear over all of the whirring happening around. They're disoriented, they're floating and tossing and turning in the air, and they keep getting thrown off. So even when they try reaching, something interferes and tosses them off board. This voice keeps doing it. So the image I want you to focus on, the image that I keep sending in this hurricane, is I am acting as a lighthouse in the center of it all. And my lighthouse has a giant white crystal rose. with little midnight blue sparkles on the end of it. Like, I'm all glitter, right? I love glittery things. I love colorful things. So everything that I do has a color and a texture to it in what I channel. So I offer up this very luscious, glowing white rose with these edges. And so every time the masculine is getting turned around in this hurricane, they can recenter on that, see that it draws their light to that so that they can reorient themselves faster. I can't do it for them. I can't go in there and reach in and do it for them. It is not our job to do that for them. Okay? Masculine, I love you, but I cannot save you from this. All I can do is provide a light so that you can recenter yourself again. For when the storm dies down, then you'll know where to go next. You'll know where you are. Okay? So those of you who are viewing right now, I want you to send whatever energy that is, whatever symbol. My last name is Rose. My name is Janet Rose, and I'm from Denver, Colorado, and I'm doing all of this from Denver while my puppy is asleep. So that's the other thing that might interfere with this is my puppy might wake up. He gets sensitive to this energy, by the way. So send whatever talisman of yours that glows. For me, it's a rose. It's different colors of roses and different textures and different things that it is holding. This is holding kind of dark blue glitter on the edges so that you know what it is. So it's outlined like that. There are 3 other cards that popped out. Okay. This is for the feminine on this side. Okay, masculine, I just told you what's up, and I just told you that you owe someone an apology, and no one owes you an apology on this one because you're the one who did not seek clarification and made a decision kind of blindly that hurt someone. And so now you got to make the imperfect apology. And even if you get rejected, you got to do this because this is what at least sews up the loop for you. Okay. For the feminine or for the people who are on the receiving end of this, keep it chill, babe. Okay. This is the Temperance card. Okay. Very literally it says, keep it chill. Okay. Do not go seeking this. Do not go into the DM saying, so whenever you're ready to give me that apology, I'll receive it. Like, no. Live your life. But be mindful of what you're pouring in. For a while, I could feel how much bitterness and resentment and anger and anguish I was pouring into things. And so living your life and being open to seeing how this energy, this chemistry plays out. Because for me, the Temperance card is the alchemist. And the alchemist knows how much of each element to kind of pour in. And they get things wrong, which is why you got to keep it chill. Okay? Keep it chill. Do not go seeking this. Likewise, do not rise to the bait of competition. Someone's going to come in and they're going to offer an excuse for competition, offer a third party to blame, offer a distraction. Okay? Do not rise to the bait of it. Okay, this is the 5 of Roses, so the 5 of Wands, and it is competition. But the competition card ordinarily is not terrible. The 5 of Wands is about sometimes sparring with people who are better than you so that you increase your own abilities. This card right now is saying, do not rise to the bait because you're going to get your ass kicked for no good reason. And all it's going to do is prove how you're not keeping it chill. Okay? Just keep it chill. Do not go chasing this. In the end, it's going to balance out. In the end, you are found worthy. In the end, it's about a careful measurement from the universe. So the Two of Rings, the Two of Pentacles here is showing you that if you keep it chill, things are going to balance out. And that equality that you've been craving in this connection is going to be there. Okay. I want to ask a little bit more about this masculine because I was just demanded to get on this call right now. Okay, one card just already wanted to pop out, so we're going to just pull that one out. And then, what time is it? It is 4:43. Oh, not too bad. And we're getting close to 4:44, which is a very special number for me. So this is confirming some stuff for me. And it's telling me to keep it fucking chill, okay? Do not rise to the competition, okay? Don't go looking for it. Don't go looking for trouble. Do not borrow trouble, okay? Just don't borrow trouble. Do not get overeager. Don't get impatient on this, okay? So what's a last message for the masculine? Aw. Damn, okay. I love this. Someone is about to have their glow up period on the masculine side, which is good because it means you're going to be showing up much more as your authentic self. This is paradise. This is actually the sun card. This is you showing up and relaxed in your own skin. And once you get through this I fucked up apology and get over the speed bump that you have created into a boulder that is blocking you, once you get past that, this is the destination. The undercurrent of it is also the contestant. And so this is actually the Fool card. So this is taking a leap. This is taking a leap of faith. This is taking a leap of faith on yourself. Like this makes me so happy. Oh my God, this makes me so happy. This makes me happy for you. You gotta admit, you kind of blew things up in order to make the right choice that wasn't the right choice. And now you're realizing it really wasn't the right choice. And it's going to force you to become a better version of you so that you're worthy of being that next contestant, that next hopeful, and taking a chance, taking a risk on it. That's the last thing. Oh my God. Okay, I do not believe always in the collective power here, but the Lover's card shows up. Okay? You take a leap of faith on yourself, on your own authenticity, on listening to the thing right here. It is going to pay off. It is going to pay off so beautifully. Oh my God, I'm so happy for the masculine on this. Everything that came up in this matters to the things that happened to me. Okay. Monarch butterflies have been part of how I have been called most recently into this work with the masculine. And that's the card that popped out was the Six of Flutes, butterflies. That's that feeling that you get when you're in love. When I was called to this, I saw 7 monarch butterflies float across my vision when I was at Chimayo in New Mexico, a sacred spot for my family, for my heritage, and for my faith. And it's crazy because if you're still on here, the one who knows about Medjugorje, there's a grotto at Chimayo to Our Lady of Peace, the Queen of Peace, La Conquistadora. And where I got my vision in Medjugorje when I was 12 where I saw the hands of Mary. She comes in Medjugorje as the Queen of Peace. And there's so much involved in this. To see the butterflies is a symbol, because in a meditation where I offered my heart to him months ago, butterflies flew out of his mouth. Monarch butterflies flew out of his mouth. And it is just such a special symbol for me, for that to come up as I'm doing this. So I have one last message for the feminine in this. Let's shuffle one last thing. And then I'm hearing the puppy start to squeak. So that means he's going to want to be out of his pen here pretty soon. This is, for the rest of this is for the feminine. And the advice: chill the fuck out. If you don't rise to the bait, then everything's going to balance out at the end. So what's this piece of advice? What's the beginning, the ending? Okay, beginning. Haha. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, I have to laugh at this because remember, it was keep it chill, the temperance card. Don't rise to the bait, don't rise to the competition. If you do that, everything's going to work out, everything's going to balance out. You're going to have that balanced divine union that you desire. And so what pops out was the cliffhanger. So I hate this card. I hate the hanged man, the hanged one. I do love how they did this though, because it does just feel like, you know, a mid-season cliffhanger, and you're just like, and this anticipation, and you're waiting and you're hoping. You're going to be waiting and hoping. This is a test of your faith, my friend. This is a test of whether you can sacrifice the daily interactions, the daily dopamine drip that you are getting from this person. You need to know who you are outside of that. This is a leveling up for you. But the undercurrent that came up is just as beautiful, because it's the Two of Cups. Okay? So it's the Two of Cups. It's cheers. It is good things on the horizon with this relationship. This is beautiful. Oh my God, this is beautiful. So then the last card that comes up is the Page of Wands, the Page of Roses. Okay? The free spirit. You can do all of this without giving up who you are. You can do all of this without giving up who you are. A regular life reading, just wanted to let you know you can book that through sharpsweetbella.com/services. This is overwhelming to me. I was not expecting it to go in this direction. Masculine, all you gotta do is apologize, man. All you gotta do is show up and speak. Say you fucked up. Just say it. It will all start falling into place after that, because once you do, you have overcome the infiltration against you, and you will have a success under your belt that you can build from. Feminine, this is just a test of your patience and your strength. You got this. Live your life. Be glowing and alive and ready to show what a good equal is. Quality shows up for accountability. When they show up, it's going to be imperfect. It's not going to be great. Okay? It's not going to be elegant. Nah. Okay? Do not let the internet algorithm tell you how to receive this. Do this, because if we're expecting the masculine to glow the fuck up into who they really are as leaders, as divine masculine in themselves, if we're expecting them to take a risk and to just put themselves out there and take a leap of faith so that we can have that lover's happy ending that we have been promised, then we cannot be holding them to perfection. We are the alchemists, not them, not in this situation, not in this respect. We have more experience experimenting with the emotional outcome of sorrow and betrayal. They are going through their own sense of betrayal. They have betrayed themselves. Yeah, there are good things on the horizon. And I came here to say that. I came here to share that. So thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging in. My name is Janet Rose. Please follow me at Sharp Sweet Bella. You can book a reading with me at sharpsweetbella.com/services. But thank you for joining and thank you for supporting. I really appreciate it.